Stop trying. Good evening and good morning, everybody, and welcome to the finals weekend of the US World Cup 2025. That's right, we are finally here in one of our 2 remaining weeks of this tournament already. It flies by, and that means we've got some exciting matchups for you this weekend. Teams vying for a spot in the grand finals weekend. Starting this evening in the lower bracket, we have the 4th-seeded Canada matching up to the 6th-seeded South Korea. Both of these teams defeating their opponents last week, or dropping from last week. My apologies. Canada 1-6 versus Poland, and South Korea winning both of their matches in the lower bracket versus Norway and Russia, both fighting for a spot in their second match. I am Chiliper, joined this evening by Azer. Good afternoon, evening, night, morning, many things.
Yeah, definitely the evening right now for us. Well, I had to catch another one of these games. I just had to. This is a big one, honestly. Canada has a very hard path, I think, to proceed in this tournament after facing Poland, number 1 seed last week. Really hard going against Malashevsky and seeing what he does, honestly. So now they have to do the same thing with Flying Tuna, I think, but it's in losers this time. Their second life is out. So this should honestly be really interesting. There's a lot on the line for both of these teams. I think the narratives for both of these teams are really interesting. You know, South Korean, most notably losing so many of their top players from last year. A lot of people very much discarded them this year. I think they were even predicted to end 8th or something in a lot of prediction streams and stuff like that. Like, Korea is still very good. I think they were number 2 in stats in semis. Their top 4 core is still the same players from last year, and they're really scary, Chiller.
They are, and there's no shortage of skill being displayed by the top end of this roster. It's important to note that they did get second last weekend in the semifinals. Now, finals map pool being a decent bit harder than the semifinals map pool was, but Canada losing 1-6 last week versus Poland, who is the number 1 seeded team in the entire tournament. Poland placed 3rd overall in semifinals. So South Korea actually outperforming our number 1 seed as the 6th seed last week. The only team to outperform them was the United States, with an average team score of 2.7 million across all maps. And South Korea, most importantly, put up that number 2 team of the weekend on 2 separate matches. That was versus Norway and Russia, both of whom they 6-1'd, which is a dominant scoreline for a best of 11. So a lot of scary things happening on the South Korean side for the blue team this week. Canada has got a lot to show. I think they had a little bit more to give us versus Poland, and I think we can expect some pretty good picks coming out of them in this match, but statistics-wise, they are certainly fighting one of the uphill battles of all time.
Yeah, but even if you look at the Canadian match against Poland last week, a lot of the maps were still fairly close. They beat Poland on one of them. They lost 2 of their maps by under 100k. So even though I think the scoreline looks pretty bad, the stats look pretty bad for Canada, I think there's still some really good star power on this team. You can never count out Zudi for anything. There's a lot of the newer players that haven't really had a chance to really have a star moment on anything, but that's also kind of the question when you think of this Canadian team is how high can these new players really scale? Because a lot of the promise of this Canadian team is a lot of these 4-digit players or rookie players that we don't know if they really scale on a pool this hard. They might have never actually even played a pool this hard. This finals pool is it's crazy. It's really crazy. I think the average star rating on this is 8 stars or something, 8.0. So it's really high. There's of course some players on both of these sides that are not going to have a problem with this, but I think what's going to determine this match here for honestly both of these teams is how well the supporting roster around these players is going to be able to do, right? I think on Canada, you're going to be looking at TS Fury to do good. You're going to be looking at Wanderia to do good, and, most notably around Xylus and Zudi. They're going to have to offer that support because, on Korea's side, you have the 4 guys that just won last year. It's very much an uphill battle, and I think when you look at some of the more supporting players on both teams, You know, when you're looking at Canada, you're looking at like people like Birchman and Ploot, who I think people are questioning whether or not they're going to be able to show up on the pool this hard. But I think you can also say the same about this Korean roster. They're four newer-ish players. I know Kejik is not exactly new, but we don't really know how hard they scale on that pool, right? Japori's been doing pretty good on the speed. Sooyoung is a bit of a mystery still. I don't think Sooyoung has had much of a chance to really show the potential that a lot of the Korean community has been talking about this guy. Same with Mike Keyboard, hasn't really had a good showing or like a carry performance, a standout performance yet. So I think these players are probably the ones you're going to have to look at here. And while we have just yapped a lot about that, seems like bans and picks are all done, and Canada's going to be opening this with some speed. Homosum DT.
DT2 coming out, and it's important to note that Sooyoung was a pretty high DT score for South Korea on a couple of picks last week. Their number one performance actually coming out of that DT3 with an almost 900k S rank on a choke there. So Canada's going to be given a little bit of a run for their money. Strong speed roster on here, as you mentioned before. So we've got Xylus, TS Fury on the top, Pink Eye Fan, and Sparkly Fairy, who is Birchman down on the bottom. South Korea, Mami Kokoro, Karcher, and Flying Tuna, that trio that we're really going to be looking to see a lot from South Korea in this match. And of course, Sooyoung going to need to be that support standing up alongside them to give them an advantage here. And right now, Canada strutting their stuff on speed. We sort of expected them to take this route. They have an extremely strong roster for speed and stamina DT maps, especially when you kick this AR up, which I am very aware a lot of the South Korean players are not super comfortable with high AR more than anything, and it's really taking a toll on their accuracy and ability to read this map. I mean, you've got low 80s, low 90%. Meanwhile, Canada, multiple players at the high 98, 99s, and the lowest being 94% right now from them. Very strong stuff from Canada with the three-way.
Yeah, I think this is a beautiful showcase of, I think, what their game plan is. They've got Xylus, they've got Pink Eye Fan, who you can make arguments for both of these players being probably in the top 5 of the entire tournament in terms of speed. And I mean, it's showing. Look at the accuracies on everyone else across the board. When the pool is this hard and you have to come in and tap 324 BPM like this, like you're gonna need the two of those guys to show up. So already here as a first pick, this is looking pretty good.
This is extremely good. It should also be noted that the lowest accuracy on Canada is basically matching, if not besting, the highest accuracy on South Korea right now. Mamiya Kokoro, 92.45%. Sparkly Fairy pretty close by. I mean, they're trading hundreds there. Meanwhile, you've got Xylus, who's making this map look easy right now. TS Fury doing exactly what we wanted to see them do. We did see TS Fury have a little bit of trouble, actually, in the semifinals with navigating some of their usual picks that they were super strong on. And we're seeing this increase in skill cap really give them a chance to shine. 1400 combo right alongside Xylus, and Flying Tuna the only one to stand up against this double FC, and the accuracy is not going to allow him to pull anything back.
Yeah, this is a crazy score we're looking at, by the way.
This ACK is just nothing. Unfortunately, TS Fury going to find a break on, I believe, a kick slider, but it's Xylus to make it through these super fast bursts at the ending here. Are we going to see map number 1 with a full combo already? We talked about how difficult this pool was, and well, I guess that gives us a chance to talk about how skilled some of our finals level players are. Xylus, a seasoned veteran of the World Cup, bringing Canada in with a full combo and an almost 3 million team score, not to shy away from the full team performance there. That was exceptional stuff from Canada on their opening pick. Lowest score still above 500k. And Flying Tuna with a valiant effort at that 700k, but just not enough.
Yeah, this is some shred. This is some real speed. But I think, you might be looking at that map and seeing, wow, Canada's crazy. That is an insane lead. There's a fairly limited amount of speed picks left in this, right? DT3 was banned on the side of Korea here, so there's a lot of maps I think that they have in their pocket that's going to look exactly like this on the other way, right? When you have such a strong core, right, between Tuna, Karcher, Amamiya Kokoro, and Elegrisimo, like, I think they might be looking for Hard Rock 2 or Hard Rock 3 here, any sort of like flowy, like weird aim picks. I think they're really good at. I think Canada is also quite aware of that as well with perhaps being on the back foot here for some of the gimmickier side of this pool, right, with this hidden 2-ban. There's still header open that I think Korea you would probably give the advantage to. I mean, Tuna's known to do pretty good on maps like that, even though it's not really one of his main skill sets. So I'm curious to see if whatever this Korean pick is ends up looking equally as one-sided, because I think they're gonna need that to come back from that. Like just off the gates, just getting speed abuse like this is kind of crazy, like mental-wise. So they're gonna need something big here.
Yeah, it's a bit of confidence given to South Korea too, honestly, knowing that Canada is keeping to the comfortable areas here, and it looks like South Korea is going to end up going in for Zephyrs, the Frums map, so they're going to sort of keep to that gimmick skill sets, and that's sort of South Korea's game, right, is that they've got that strong trio, if not 4 players, for a significant number of maps in any given map pool, and that versatility is really what sets apart the top 6 teams from teams that are maybe like top 12 to top 8 teams. You really have the top 3 or 4 players on your team able to play maybe 3 or 4 different skill sets, where other teams might have a really strong core for a specific mod pool or a specific style of map. And they are going to have a great time with their picks. They're going to look really strong at the start, but the point in the match where you really need to start looking out for is maybe going to be like 3 points in. That's when you need to see that versatility come through. So I'm expecting trades back and forth here very early for these teams. And Canada, I think from their side being such a strong core with their skill sets in a similar area, are going to really want to try and sneak in a break point if at all possible early here, just to give themselves some leeway once the speed is gone.
I will say I would be a little surprised if it happens on this one, though.
Yeah.
I think looking at the pool overall, or just thinking about the type of map that this just screams Flying Tuna to me. Like, not even just in this match, like just of the 6 teams that are left, like this might just be like the Tuna map. It's got a lot of crazy alt patterns, and that's kind of what Tuna does best. And you know, you're looking on the other side here, and you're probably looking at Zudi to try to match that, but I think Zudi, with these types of flowy maps, not necessarily the thing that she's going to be have the most ease matching. She's going to be able to match Tuna on a lot of other stuff in this pool. However, on this one, I'm not too sure. So you're starting to look at some of the other players in the room now, and you're looking at Xylus, who, despite looking amazing on the first pick, haven't really had some good performances when it comes to aim. And then you're looking at Wandario, who is a brand new addition, mostly 4-digit player until like a couple of days ago, actually, because both Wandario and Yip got their top plays on Free Mod 1 Arcadia a couple of days ago. Just random fun fact. So Wandario's 3-digit now. He's running the Canada gimmick of having no 3 digits. But you're probably looking at him the most on this map. I guess we're watching this intro. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And of course you've got Plute, right? Steam Happy, who's supposed to come in for maps like this. And normally I think Plute is going to be all over these types of maps, like these flowy hidden picks like this. But when it's this hard, I think you have to put into question whether he can keep up. So we'll have to see. But yeah, again, I think you're mostly looking at Tuna here to have probably some better support and probably the biggest carry performance on this map.
I agree. I think Flying Tuna is really the player to look out for. I do have to say on the South Korean side, to give them a little bit of backup as well, Amamiya Kokoro. For those that have been watching tournaments for a really long time, I don't think a lot of people know that Amamiya Kokoro is Nelitoru as a name change, even though it's been a name change for such a long time. Unbelievable hidden player on flow aim, reading basically everything, and it's not always a skill set that comes forward for them, but they really have a chance to shine late stage sometimes, and we're already sort of seeing that with the accuracy and the players that are going to be comfortable on this map versus not comfortable. Nope, KJK and Karcher sitting a little bit lower through these intro sections here, and there it is, that miss from Karcher. The accuracy is an indicator on these hidden picks, more so than other slots. Meanwhile, Canada holding a little bit more confidently across the board.
Yeah, looking good so far, especially with that one. I mean, if that's the star player, you're just talking about finding a miss there, and Karcher not looking too good. But this map, I think, definitely spikes up a lot at the end, so I would not count them out for the time being, but 100k at the start here. Steam Happy, Wandario, Xylus as well are going to be finding the misses. And Tuna, though,
Well, OKJK versus Zudinator both hit that stream with the high slider ticks there on the slider, and now it's just these awkward patterns through the middle section. And Any missed the doubles, catch OKJK, and Zudinator hits one of the most difficult parts of the map, holding through this middle key eye. Big Snaps finally misses the triangle, but that's full misses from almost everybody. It's Amamiya Kokoro and Wandario standing, and that's 130k for Canada, and no combo to pull it back on South Korea.
There's a really hard part coming up here. Lots of reading required. They're going to have to keep their combos here.
Oh, no! It's Wandario and Amamiya.
Archer hits it. Tuna hits it.
That's 2 people on each team hitting it.
Some of the harder mechanical parts of this map are going to be at the end here. We'll have to see who can keep up, but still maintaining a 100k lead here.
Tuna's got combo, but so does Xylus and Flute, holding at the ending here. Flying Tuna is down, and that's the 130k back. And Azer, I think we're looking at maybe that golden scenario for Canada right now, sneaking in a pick that we thought was all too favored for South Korea. Xylus hits the back and forth, hits the triangle, finally misses on the wiggle, but before almost 400k at the ending.
Yeah, that Zudi combo at the beginning did such a big difference there. Basically finding that extra 100k where everybody's kind of hovering 400k. There's Zudi almost cresting 500k. I wasn't expecting that one. I can't lie. I can't lie,
wow. I mean, how do you predict that? How do you predict such a strong beginning combo from Zudinator, a supporting back from Xylus and Plute at the ending, and Wandario?
Plute 6 misses.
Strong mid. Whoa. Yeah. 97% accuracy, too. It's the highest in the entire lobby there by not a close margin.
I mean, if we were doubting whether or not Plute could keep up on this pool, apparently he most definitely can.
Yeah.
That's really good. Okay, so there's the Canada breakpoint that you were talking about. And I think as the tapping picks run out, because I think in their minds right now they're definitely just mostly looking at tapping and like mechanics pick. You got Zudi, right? You're gonna pick some of the aim in this pool. Wandario as well, kind of a pretty good aim player. It's good to know for them, for their sake, that they are able to find points elsewhere here, and I think South Korea here is going to have to pull some magic out of this one. However, this one's not really much of a tapping pick. This one can be pretty even. South Korea's been doing pretty good on multitudes of DT picks on this one, and not a lot of tapping to be found on this map. To be honest, like all of the bursts are just 5 notes, I think. Mm-hmm. So I guess we're seeing Zudi in for this one, our DT player.
This is drum and bass, a little bit of light tapping in between. Mostly what we're looking for is aim on the side. So I think Zudinator fits this map skill set pretty well overall. She's definitely proven herself for the speedier aim maps over the years. Canada may be sorely missing their drum and bass hero, Ryuke, potentially, but they've got plenty of DT to back it up regardless.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the 4 players for Korea on this, because this is... I'm wondering if you can see Chipori. I think Chipori has not... on any of these like more tapping centered picks that have a lot of aim on them, I don't think Chipori's had a good showing, but this one is mostly aim. So I wonder if they're good on this one, or they're kind of just acting as the 4th filling here, right? I think it's going to be really important for Korea to try to do good on this one, even though it's not really their pick. I wouldn't favor them on this one, but I think at some point here you're going to have to start finding something in this match. Which, speaking of name changes as well, because I don't think you mentioned this one, Chipori is Parisia, I think.
That's a good mention.
Another kind of name change that's flown under the radar. One of many in OWC that we have to keep track of.
The cheat sheet's never enough to get through here. Really need the formal listing. Well, DT1, roster set in, map started. Confident, nice light intro here, looking at more of the burst, but you see just how fast this aim is. And again, AR 10.5. We have heard South Korea in the past and seen them struggle a little bit at some of these higher approach ratings, but they're looking pretty good at the 10.5 right now. And all things considered, if Canada can steal a hidden 3, well, by God, South Korea can steal a DT1. It's a traded miss from Archer and Nujabes at the start here. Pink Eye Fan with a little early break as well, and Zudinator falling now. That's 3 combos gone for Canada. Meanwhile, South Korea, Chipori, and Karcher, the only 2 to find a break. It's now Xylus standing against Tuna and Amamiya Kokoro. Pink Eye Fan a little bit behind.
Yeah, as good as Pink Eye Fan looked on the previous DT that they picked. I think when there's too much aim, he's definitely not looking to be a carry on this one. He's going to have probably the highest stack in the lobby because this guy's just going to SS all of the speed in this, but yeah, I don't think Canada has that that 2-player edge that they had at the start, especially not anymore with Xylus dropping an FC there. So Korea's going to be able to find a considerable point lead at the start here. This is a fairly long one though, 430 with the DT. We're here for a while. Some chill DMB.
We love it. We love a little bit of Vila.
I don't know, maybe chill the wrong description when it looks like this though. This looks kind of hard. Maybe not chill, but at least the song is.
This is a tough map, and that AR 10.5 is absolutely ruthless. Amamiya Kokoro, and the concession I will give to Pink Eye Fan is being the type of player that they are, this 10.5 is going to feel completely normal to them. And that's a pretty big advantage on an aim style pick, because I have found over the years that approach rating tends to make aim harder on DT picks rather than these, burst sections here. Now, the only issue Pink Eye Fan is having right now is that his team is collapsing around him pretty frequently, and despite maybe not being the one to pull up a full combo right now, like Amamiya Kokoro is, it is the only thing that is supporting Canada right now, and a 50k score gap halfway through this map is certainly not out of the question to pull back for Canada. Amamiya Kokoro, we see a little bit of shakiness happening now. Something that is not out of character for Amamiya Kokoro, sadly. Oh boy, it's getting stronger here in the slow section. And there goes Karcher.
Halfway in. He's in for a bad time.
The high combo miss is going to absolutely throw this map to the other side for whoever finds it. It's already on South Korea's side, so they've got a bit of an advantage if Pink Eye Fan finds a break here. But Amamiya Kokoro and Pink Eye Fan, again, they're literally the only 2 people holding their teams up right now. Everyone else is matched on the supporting combos here. Tuna a little bit higher than the next closest, but it's not a big difference as Nujabes finds yet another break. And there goes Amamiya Kokoro on the build-up, but so does Pink Eye Fan.
Oh!
It's still the slow section.
This is on nothing.
Okay, well, it's supporting combo central now. Xylus and Zudinator. Chipori finds a break. It's now flying Tuna by himself. It's 20k, and this is going to be really close into the ending. It's really all down to flying Tuna holding this combo, and Zudinator and Xylus finding breaks at the ending, and it goes over to Canada with the misses. Xylus finds a miss, and it's Tuna versus Zudi on aim now.
Tale as old as time. How's it ending this time, though? They're still holding. Got a couple patterns left here, guys. It's still dead even. It is still dead even.
2 of the best players at this skill set matching up basically the same combo. Tuna finally misses Zudinator.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is going to be close all the way into the ending. It's miscount only, and South Korea has the combo advantage, but Amamiya Kokoro and Karcher find a miss. It's Pink Eye Fan again, but he breaks too. What's happening?
What is happening?
It's a fight.
Okay, what is happening? Oh my god. Wait, it's over. It's over, right? It's over.
Canada takes the advantage on accuracy into the ending. It's 97, 98, and 98 on the top versus nobody on South Korea even close to that. It's 20,000 score, a traded miss from Amamiya Kokoro and Pink Eye Fan into the ending, and it's 100 combo for everyone else, and it does finally come through. 17k for Canada, barely skipping through on their pick.
Wow. And Pink Eye Fan here. I was saying maybe not the guy to look at for aim on this, but I mean, solid carry performance there by the skin of their teeth. Just barely. What was that? 13k at the end or something? Like, oh my god.
So close.
Oh my god.
The score difference was almost the difference between Amamiya Kokoro and Pink Eye Fan at the ending, and it really is about that 100 count. 7,800s compared to 48. That is good ack from Pink Eye Fan.
Yeah, when the scores are low like that, accuracy just matters so much, right?
Wow. Well, there's Canada with a consolidated break point, and the DT pool now gone. So we are left with Nomad, 1 hidden, all of the Hard Rock pool, and all of the Free Mod pool.
I mean, pretty much all the tapping is gone at this point. I guess you have Arcadia, but
That's a Karcher map. You want to pick Karcher into Karcher?
It's a gamble. I mean,
It might be, actually.
some mappers have debuffs on their own maps. I don't know. Probably not Karcher though. He's kind of really good at this kind of thing. I don't think Canada's gonna be the one to pick that, but we'll see. Regardless, though, it's gonna be South Korea looking for their pick here. I think that, you know, looking at stats from last week and just thinking of, again, their core four that is really important in this match, right? I think you're probably looking at a Hard Rock 2 or 3 here, I think, for Korea.
They have to. I mean, I know Worst HR Player was a pretty big gambit on their Hard Rock, but yeah, this Hard Rock 3 was going to be the pick for them all day. I think Hard Rock 2 is a little bit too simplistic in its precision style for South Korea to have a major advantage on it. And I do think Hard Rock 1, even though South Korea looks good on the aim, is so mechanics focused that it does swing Canada's way. So this is easily the best Hard Rock map in the pool by far for South Korea in terms of overall skill set advantage. And I do wonder who's going to end up going in for the other two Hard Rocks, if at all.
Yeah, well, again, it's another tuna map. Maybe it's their game plan. Just pick the tuna maps. Didn't really work out the first time though, because Zudi's on the other team. But on this one, at least, I mean, obviously outside of Zudi, who's going to be able to do good on this. Not super sure on this Canadian team who's going to be able to particularly have a good score on this. There's a lot of people that can sort of fill this, but there's not really a player that comes to mind as being particularly good at this. You could see a Yip fill. I think TS Fury on paper might be pretty good at this, but this might be a little bit too weird of a pick. Like this one has got, I don't really know of the correct way to describe this map, but it does have a little bit, like a control amount of jank in there. Like a tasteful amount of jank. So I think someone like TS Fury would be looking for maps to be a lot more simple mechanically, visually. So we do see Yip coming. Also, I guess, first original of this match, I believe.
Oh yeah,
first time people are gonna be seeing this one in a match. Marmeli Butcher with their 5th original this year. They've done one for every World Cup.
Vote for your favorite in the comments. Go check them all out, because they are all good. They are all very good. Well, South Korea, the strong roster again. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of this Mamu Kokoro, Karcher, Flying Tuna lineup. This has been their core for the matches so far, and they haven't quite found their groove yet. But if there was ever a pick that I could see them find it on, it is this Hard Rock map. And like you said, you know, it is just the right amount of jank to not be perfectly comfortable for a gimmick player, certainly not for a mechanics player. So I think, you know, players like Flying Tuna, players like Mamu Kokoro, you know, players like Yip, who are pretty good at finding the line between those, are going to be those to look out for. And then, of course, Zudinator.
Yeah. I mean, when looking at this Canadian side here, Yip, Wonderio, again, just to... that's two of the players that look really good on lower star pools, but both pretty much 4 digits. But, I mean... Zudi's going to have to do some work on this one, I think. Xylus has been looking good on anything that's not aim, I would say. But I think probably definitely, you know, filling on this one, perhaps. I don't think Canada particularly has a super strong, like... I don't want to call this gimmick, really. We'll call this like one of the weirder, more control-y, heavy Hard Rock picks.
Yeah.
But Tuna finding a miss, though, I think... is going to matter there. That might throw a wrench in there, because that's, again, probably the player you're looking at the most for this one, but so far well supported from the team.
Silas broke. Chipori also found a slider break on that one tick on the Excel slider, so an unfortunate miss there. The trade from Wonderio, though, so 2 misses for both teams here. Accuracy advantage for South Korea. Karcher making this map look pretty comfortable, but all it takes is 1 missed slider tick to throw those combos back. Now, Mamu Kokoro and Karcher supporting combo on both sides. Wonderio and Xylus to find another set of breaks. That's going to be more score to South Korea, but Karcher actually found a miss in that section, and that's now 1 FC left. Zudinator to find the break, and Mamu Kokoro to miss 2. Yip to hit the space stream, and now it's the slider section here. A final slider break for him, though, but it brought back a lot of scores, or 20k, and it's Flying Tuna.
Another tale as old as time. Bunch of misses in the lobby, and Tuna with 600 combo. Some things never change.
Nope, the hardest section of the map, and Tuna just owns it like a boss. 800 combo coming up soon. A third of the map left to go, though. Plenty of opportunity. Tuna does find the break, and there is combo on Canada, and this score lead's going to go back rather quickly with the accuracies being virtually matched on both sides here. Tuna was really the only thing holding up South Korea, and now, with how comfortable Yip has looked in the remainder of this pick, I do wonder if this is going to be comboable until the ending for one of these two players. It's Yip to miss, but Zudinator to hold, and Shipori matching.
This is still really close.
It needs to be a miss from either side to give a definitive win. South Korea has the lead on the misses from the support on Canada right now. Zudinator cannot do it by herself, with Xylus finding all of these misses. Yip to miss before the slider, and Karcher and Shipori to hold it down, and that's going to be it. South Korea, 100k, made it look confident into the ending.
Yeah, Shipori holding it together at the end there when it mattered, honestly. 100k difference by the end of that, but it was pretty dicey as we watched this. Well, we can't be missing on that. Well,
dramatic
100k
effect.
difference for Korea there. Karcher and Shipori pulling up at the end, but yeah, I think overall team performance on that one looked pretty good. Even despite Yip kind of popping off there for a while.
I think Yip
that
could
might
have
have
exceeded this map.
I think so too. That looked a little bit different. Held the highest combo, and just got like a I think he got a slider break at first, I think, and then comboed 400 after that. So that could have looked a bit different, but Korea finally finding a point of the board here. Not going to be break pointed twice. And so some much needed some much needed morale for them. No tapping left in the pool. Tuna popping off.
What more could you ask for? Oh, and a Nomad went instantly from Canada. So South Korea, they're on the board. They've got the morale boost from winning a map. The most important part of all of this, however, is that South Korea is perpetually living with this break point over their head, looming over this score line right now. So South Korea, somewhere along the line, and there's a long road ahead. I mean, it's 5 points for South Korea to match point, 3 more for Canada, so plenty of maps in store. But this is a guaranteed win for Canada if South Korea is not able to get that break point back. I mean, that is perpetually one ahead on the lead here. So Canada's going to try and be confident and maybe a little bit more reserved with their picking strategy to try and hold on to that for a bit here.
I have to say, I can't remember if there's ever been a harder raw aim map in OWC before. This type of raw aim actually tends to be pretty underrated in terms of star rating. So even though this is 8 stars, I think most people are going to tell you it's actually a lot harder than that. This is pure raw aim. There is nothing else in this map, and I think there's definitely one player in the room that a lot of people are going to be looking at for exactly that type of map.
I mean, this is... Yeah, I'm trying to think of any map that's been difficult on aim to that extent, but no, I genuinely cannot think
There's always something else mixed in, you know, for something that's pure aim like this. It's been a while since we've seen a map like this. And some of the patterns in this, like there are some really, really crazy aim parts in this. You may have seen this map. This is a map from COE, collab with Alden, I believe. So you did see pretty much the best players in the world all play this on LAN for a weekend or two at that event, and there were very few that looked particularly good on this. I gotta say, like this is catching the very top end of the game here. However, I guess one player that we did not see at COE was Zudinator, and I think that's probably who you're looking at for this. Off the top of my head, from what I remember, I think we've seen Emrek and Malashevsky like almost FC this.
Yeah, they were really good on this map, and their match is still to come. Yeah, they've got a match on a little bit later today with Australia here, and both facing off, well, not facing off against each other, actually, also looking out for maybe Kriller, who would have played this map as well in Germany.
Yeah.
But Big aim. I don't know what the hardest aim map we've had up until this map might be, what, Fremod won finals last year? AU no Tsurugi with like Hard Rock or something, maybe? Might be
I think so. Yeah.
the hardest aim map aside from this, but even then, this is wide angle cross screens. Like, there is not a whole lot of people that are going to be able to play this consistently. I think being confident on this sort of thing is one thing, but to be consistent and hitting these sort of X pattern cross screen jumps is very difficult and requires a level of control that a lot of aim players don't possess in a match setting. So the support is going to be big on this one. Shot base to find a break for Canada. That's going to be the last substantial extra combo outside of Zudi Nader here. Xylus to hold for a little while as Wandario finds a break. My Keyboard and Suyong to find misses there. So it's Tuna and Zudi with Xylus besting the combo from Karcher. There goes Tuna on the back and forth. Xylus to break 2, and there goes Karcher. And well, here's what you said.
Well, here's a really hard pattern coming up, though. If Zudi hits this, it's just over, I think. Right here.
Okay.
Okay. Well.
Okay. First section, anything on the slider here, maybe? Nope. Like, I'm not trying to jinx it, but first match of the weekend. There's a lot of misses on Team Canada right now.
Right
and
here?
it literally doesn't matter. Oh, it's the repeat X. One miss. A singular
Okay.
miss.
That's the hardest part of the map right there.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's already over. 200k lead there from Zudi. Absolute masterclass, honestly.
Finally finds another break here, but I mean, 650k score into the ending here, even with the misses. I mean, this is just going to be a ridiculous start to the weekend.
Pretty much everyone else in the lobby, though, somehow kind of getting the same score. No one really got a chance to build much of a combo there. I mean, Tuna looked really good for some time, but only going to be finding a couple thousand points. I think like 20, 30k over most of these other players in the lobby. I thought that would have counted for a little bit more, but yeah, that combo difference on Zudi, though, the extra 400 combo, going to make the difference. And I mean, Canada now up 4-1. I will say, though, I think when it comes to what they've been picking, so they've just been picking tapping mechanics. They've just been picking like the strong arm maps, you know, like they've just been trying to overpower with all the tapping, all the raw mechanics here. I think that's kind of run dry. There's maybe Arcadia left if you count that. So while this score lead looks really good for them here, I think, you know, relatively for the stuff that's left in the pool, I think their next couple picks are going to be a lot weaker on paper for them. So it's definitely not over for Korea here, despite being 3 points down now. They've got so much of this pool, I think that's really good for them. Lot of tuna maps remaining for sure. But I mean, honestly, even Arcadia that I just said that Arcadia might be a good Canada pick. I mean, Karcher's in the lobby. That's hard to say if that really is a good pick for Canada either, right? So they've got a lot of interesting stuff left here. I think you're probably looking at Fremont 3 and 4 for Korea. Hard Rock 2 could potentially be good for them as well. I did mention that earlier. Cutter could be interesting as a very high skill cap alt pick.
I think Nomad 4 works for them, probably too. The sliders are good. I just think they need to avoid hitting 1, because big raw aim hidden is Zudi's zone, and we've sort of seen that nobody can really match up to it. Oh, there it is.
Header time. Okay. I was about to mention that one because I do think that is probably a good pick for South Korea as well here. It's also considering Canada banned Hidden 2. So this being the other, you know, primary gimmick skill set map in this pool. This one's a treat. It's a treat to watch. We get the KTG Star World Cup maps, but this time it's AR 7.7. Lots of really, really creative patterning here. It's so dense. So many crazy overlaps. I'm actually really, really looking forward to watch this one.
I see how it is. The reading players can have AR 7.7, but the Hard Rock players can't have CS 8. I see how it is.
No, that goes to the DT players last week.
Oh, true. The DT players get it all. Well, this should be an interesting one. South Korea, we talk a lot about their skill sets on these more gimmicky picks, and I think something we fail to, I guess, mention in that sense is it's in part South Korea's strengths on awkward maps like this and control-based reading maps, and also the fact that Canada has always been one of those countries in the World Cup, and this is nothing new for them, where they put specialist players on their team, but to be able to have a all-star gimmick roster is a privilege that not many countries are afforded in a World Cup. And when it makes its appearance, it's very readily apparent. So I think unless Canada sort of stacked into gimmick this year, this was always going to be an uphill battle into the late stages, especially with the past 2 years and how much gimmick scales up in finals and grand finals. And teams like South Korea and, the United States and otherwise that were sort of those like grand finals level teams start to shine a lot more here. And I'm actually expecting big things out of someone like Nope KJK on a pick like this for South Korea.
Yes, that's definitely who I'm looking at too as well. Nope KJK hasn't really had a lot of maps to shine in this World Cup so far, but again, not their first time playing the World Cup. They played it a couple years back. They took some time and in some lower level tournaments where they show that they absolutely are a force to reckon when it comes to these gimmicky picks, like these hidden picks. Nope KJK's got it, so I'm interested to see how that goes. I was also going to mention Flute as well here, who we've already talked about a couple times. Like the map like this, Flute is basically just on the roster to play this, right? Very well known, at least in Canada, for being, perhaps the best gimmick player in the country, honestly. But this one is pretty hard mechanically. There's a lot of aim in this as well, in a somewhat hidden way. But yeah, so far, Korea's looking quite good.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news to Canada, but it's really not looking good right now.
This is another pick.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wandario looks great. Like, this is fantastic work from Wandario in the corner, and honestly, actually, Flute putting up a pretty decent combo here, but quite literally, this is the definition of what do you do? Like, Nope KJK.
Oh, this is a crazy performance from the whole team.
What is this?
Oh my god.
99.62 from Amami Kokoro, by the way. 99% accuracy for Alagrissimo.
No,
Amami Kokoro brings on a cut. No! I wanted that high AC FC. Oh, there goes Alagrissimo, but it's Tuna. And it's 600k. And Wandario, major props for holding up this combo, but it is just not enough.
I will be here to one day witness a late stage Amamiya Kokoro pop off without the nerves getting to him. That shake has taken too many maps from us.
Right, Amami Kokoro just needs to take a drink before a lobby, just to sort of mellow out. Like the Wub Woof Wolf, just chill out before the match. Holy, what a team score!
We spent all that time talking about Nope KJK, and the rest of the team was like, "What about me, guys?"
600k, 600k, 700k.
This is a crazy team score. I gotta say, this is a crazy team score. South Korea looked really, really, really good on that. I don't think anyone's really looking or paying attention to the Canadian team on this. Said this probably a bit of weakness in this roster on this pool is you're not gonna see them do good on the hitter, I don't think. But I really do wonder how this score from South Korea here pairs up against some of the other teams left in the tournament, right? I guess the winner of this is going to be playing the winner of Australia, Germany, and then there's of course Poland, USA on the winner bracket. I wonder how those teams would do on a map like this. I really hope they pick it.
Terrified. I am terrified for whatever they contribute to this map. That winner's bracket match is going to be crazy for gimmick players.
Yeah, well, it's going to be Canada's pick now. There's still a few things I think they're probably looking at. Hidden One is looking good for them with Zudi and Wandario. But we'll see. Oh, there, all right.
There it is. It's aim time once again for Canada. And I like this. I mean, this is the most raw aim pick left in the pool, especially when you don't want to pick flow aim into Karcher, because believe it or not, Karcher has mapped the map, and by the way, he's really freaking good at streams. So that's sort of an area that I wouldn't touch, especially with Canada actually not having a lot of their legacy stream map players on the roster this year. Canada, for a very long time, actually had one of the most terrifying Nomad 2 rosters I had ever laid my eyes upon, and a lot of those players aren't here anymore. So against South Korea, it's maybe more of a toss-up, but I love the aim pick. This map received a lot of buffs to the aim, and I think that favors Canada quite a bit.
Yeah, well, Zudi's been looking really good this match, so again, maybe a good strategy. I think both teams seems to be having the, after the tapping's gone, they both got the same strategy. Pick the Zudi maps and pick the Tuna maps.
Well, outside of the one break point, those strategies seem to have worked, and sort of like you mentioned earlier, as Canada whittles down these more base level skill set picks, South Korea is going to start and surge forward in points here. So yeah. Canada, they've got a big lead.
On paper, this is probably Canada's last favorable pick in the pool from the stuff that's left. And even then, I'm hesitating a little bit to call this super favorable. Korea can definitely win on this.
It's the hidden.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, but
it's the hidden.
Canada has been looking pretty good. Yeah, I mean, the aim has looked really good for Canada in this match, but when you look at what's left on this pool after this, they've exclusively picked just the tapping, just the aim stuff, and the only aim adjacent stuff that's left is Hard Rock 1, but not that many Hard Rock comfortable players on this Canadian roster, so I'm not sure if they're really going for that. And I mean, there's Arcadia, I guess, but that's kind of a gamble. After that, I think you could say everything, literally every single other map in the pool would probably favor Korea, even if it's just a little bit. So this is going to be a pretty important point for Canada to be able to get, actually, because this match is not over. They still have to win 3 more maps. So yeah, you gotta make sure that this last good one is going to count, so that they can hopefully find 2 more for them, right? And you can say vice versa here for South Korea. If they're able to find a breakpoint on this, I think they're actually in a pretty good position, despite still being a map down after that. So a lot on the line for this map here.
It's one break point. Like, we can't get it twisted. This is one win for South Korea here. They win their pick, and this match is back to tied instantly. So the break point is is breathing room for Canada, but the door is like not even shut, let alone locked for them. So there is all kinds of problems that could result from losing a confident pick left for them. Luckily, Flying Tuna and Suyong finding misses on this map. Karcher to fall now as well. Meanwhile, Xylus, the only one to drop, and Amamiya Kokoro actually also goes in that aim section, and this is now a major opportunity for Canada. If they can put up some distance in this next sort of low time after that Ki here, there is going to be a very, very slim chance that South Korea comes back into this one with the combos that they have. Xylus building to match, and there is another one of these sort of 1/3 alti sections here. Any slip-ups on this, again, more combo for Canada, putting that lead on the board. Amamiya Kokoro to fall, 200k now for them. Wonderio to find a miss. Nuja base as well, and now we're down to Zudinator as fast as that 200k, and Zudinator is all that stands for Canada right now.
Well, I've said this a couple times already, but tale is all this time. It's Zudinator, and that's it. we're just watching Zudi play.
This is bad for Canada. Tuna and Suyong had huge combos. I mean, this is going to go back to South Korea regardless of what Zudi does right now. So as long as she holds this FC, it's actually very, very dependent on her supporting combos whether or not Canada maintains this lead. If we continue to see misses from Wonderio, Nujabes, and Xylus, this score lead is actually going to go down for Canada with that one combo for Zudinator. So she not only needs to hold, but she needs to see some big combos coming out of Xylus and Nujabes right now, or potentially a big miss from South Korea. Suyong did find one in that slower section there.
Yeah, Tuna is there, kind of lurking a little bit behind, but 200k is a big point gap here. I think even if Zudi were to miss, I think it's almost locked in already. Not a lot of combo elsewhere to be found. A lot of misses again to be found across the board here. Suya and Karcher not able to really recover on that part, but Zudi's is not missing. 300k now.
Did we not buff this map enough? Flying Tuna as well, by the way. 1k combo on the right-hand side with basically the same accuracy. This could have been really close if Tuna was holding that FC up.
Honestly, like, across the board, though, like, a lot of people are able to keep up pretty well. Like, these scores are quite good for this map, I gotta say. We're kind of caught up on the two players doing exceptionally well.
She actually
really
hit
hit the
the...
ending.
Oh my god!
No, you can't do this on... No, you can't do this on full area? That pattern? Really?
He actually just hit the...
No, 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 no.
Please don't miss the ending here.
Oh, my god, Zudi,
oh
really?
Oh my god.
What a play.
That's disgusting.
No, what can you do? You cannot do anything against that. Zudi might be the only player in the world that's going to be pulling out a score like this.
No, that's just not real. So final score gap on that map, 438,000. So I guess that answers the question on whether or not Tuna with an FC would have matched up with an unbelievable combo at the ending, by the way, 700k, but it would not have been enough. So Canada, Zudinator, a major point of them winning that map, but a lot of support from the other three players on that roster to keep them in the lead, even if she did finally miss.
Honestly, Tuna looked so good too. Just found that one miss at the start, and like the expected experience on this to not be able to FC the end, honestly, but apparently Zudi says no. So,
well, that leaves Canada now with any raw aim they can find, which at this point
That's
is
it.
Hard
It's
Rock
gone.
1, I guess, is like somewhat aimy, but it's not raw aim.
It's pretty much gone. I think at this point of the game, okay, so South Korea is going to be calling a timeout here. We said this last map. The remaining maps in this pool, it has to be said, the remaining maps in this pool all pretty much look pretty good for South Korea, on paper at least. So despite being down so many points now, and almost being on elimination point for this tournament, it's not over. There's so much firepower on this team. There's a lot of players that I don't think have had really their moment here. Tuna's been looking good, but I mean, outside of that, just a lot of fill players here. But I mean, Karcher was 11 in stats last week. Amamiya was 17th in stats last week. Like, there's some maps for them in here as well for them to show off on. I do have to wonder what they choose to go with here. There's so many avenues for them. Like this time out makes a lot of sense. They might be taking their time to figure out these picks because all of these maps are quite distinct. And I think it's really going to depend on, you know, obviously Tuna's having a good match, but like who else is feeling good on what type of stuff here, right? So we've got Cutter that's got a lot of really weird, very high skill cap alt patterning on this one. We've got the Zenjust original Nomad 4 that's quite mechanics heavy, not just a pretty significant amount of tapping on that one at 220 BPM. We've got Ruby of Twilight, another original, pretty much some flowing precision with some bursts. Hard Rock 1, which might be a toss-up. I don't know. I think their likely pick here in my head is Sparkle Dancer here, Fremod 4. It is a very fancy alt map here, which Tuna's pretty good at. So,
That he is.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, they've got to go for anything that has, like, that doesn't even have a trace of mechanics in it. So, like you said, you're looking at a map realistically like Fremod 4 or the Nomad. Okay, I was going to say 4, but it's 3, and I am not mad about it at all.
Oh, I'm curious. I'm
Might be one
so
of my
curious
favorite
how this
songs
map
in
is
this
gonna
pool.
go.
This is interesting. map is impossible, by the way. Like, I know I'm not the player this is catered to, but this might be one of the hardest 3 maps in the pool by, like, not a close margin.
I think this might be the hardest for most players, I think.
That is insane.
If you're this type of player, right, that likes to play these alt maps with some techie patterns in it, like, this map's gonna be fine. It's not too bad. But for everybody else that's kind of filling in that skill set, like, this is really demon. This is a very, very high skill cap required, specifically in this skill set, so might see a lot of bad scores in the lobby on this one, honestly, but might also see some interesting pop-offs. I'm curious. I'm honestly so curious.
Oh, I am nervous for what happens on this map because this is so unlike anything we've seen in this match at all. We've seen raw mechanics from Canada. We've seen more reading and low intensity gimmick from South Korea. We really haven't seen this super techie style of reading that we're gonna see in this map. I don't really want to call it reading, but it kind of is because of
it's got some,
the density required to play a map at like this level.
Yeah, for like mortal beings, you can say this as reading.
Yeah. for normal people.
Tuna and Among Pro on this, though. Definitely looking at these guys. Especially after their last pick. They both looked really, really good.
This is the solo carryable map.
It absolutely is. And guess what? We've been seeing a lot of this match on both sides. A lot of solo carries. So.
Well,
oh, man.
Not the scoreline people expected right now. 5-2 in favor of Canada. South Korea pick'ems based as a 77% favor in this matchup right now. And with this map, it could very likely mean a 5-3 for South Korea. Still looking for a break point back from Canada. A couple of early misses on both sides here. That slider stream is tough, and there are plenty more.
Yeah, I mean, that one at the start is going to catch a lot of people, but I was gonna say, this is probably the easiest part of the map right here, so it's going to matter a lot to be able to hold a combo, but no one is really managing to do that. No KJK a little bit here, but
a major difference maker for South Korea right now, being at 98% accuracy, holding that combo as well. Silas missing is going to give them a little bit of breathing room as well. Wandario going to trade it out. No KJK highest combo gone, but there's plenty on South Korea remaining, and this is just going to continue going towards their side. We are seeing far more confidence.
This might need a preemptive warning. We haven't seen this on Bancho yet, but there's a solid chance that Bancho will absolutely hate what's coming up. And maybe, maybe the players too. Here we go.
Oh, Yip misses on nothing, unfortunately, before the slider section. If he hits this section, he is not going to be happy. Oh, no. Yip might not be too pleased about missing right before this and hitting the entire section. Zudinator does drop the last remaining combo on Canada that was big, besides Xylus, actually, who has sneakily put up a 550 into this section. Does he cut through this wiggle at the ending? He does hit the slider tick. Oh, Xylus, here he comes, halfway through the map, 25k for South Korea, and that is going down very quickly. Not the player we picked out on this map. Misses on a cut stream repeat, though.
There's not...
Oh, and everyone's gone.
Yeah, there's not that much to go off of, but more misses there. No KJK still holding. Oh! Okay, no, this is spicy now. This is a really small lead still. Allegrissimo has to hold it together here. 46,000. I think Zudi has a little bit of combo as well.
It's Yip.
It's not Zudi, sorry, it's Yip.
It's Yip and Allegrissimo right now. They are the difference makers. Buzz slider on Yip and Allegrissimo too. It's Zudinator and Xylus now. Oh, it's going to be so close.
It's going down. It's going down. I think we're going to start to see accuracy matter a lot more here, though. The scores are so low.
All these misses from Wandario continue pushing it towards South Korea as well, but it's such high combo for Canada. Amamiya Kokoro and Allegrissimo, Yip and Wandario. It's everyone gone. No KJK and Tuna, and I think South Korea may have just pulled this one out with those combos.
That was a lobby-wide collapse. I was kind of worried that was like a banjo moment, but seems real. Seems real. Korea going to be able to barely fly away with this one. It was a treacherous experience to get here, but yeah, this map is crazy. It's really crazy.
Highest
Tuna,
score,
though.
437k.
Yeah, gonna be the highest score on that one. Gotta say though, Xylus did pretty good on this one for someone that is notably, mostly has been looking good on speed. I think it's easy to forget that this guy can play more than that. Showing up on this all tech pick here, but not gonna be enough. Tuna closing the door, and Korea gonna be finding their third point here. And I think it's going to be one that matters, especially when they're so close here again. Like Canada's arguably out of picks here. So these picks from Korea have to start mattering.
Canada have awarded themselves one mistake in this match. Their early spurt to go up to that breakpoint has awarded them the chance to make one error in picking a map here, and it has to be Hard Rock 1 or Fremod 1 in my mind. I think Ruby of Twilight, even though it's a fairly basic precision map, is not favored enough. And Xylus is not picking Hard Rock 2. I was going to say that's an interesting one. It is still up. Hard Rock 1 is also still up, but I don't know if anyone's going to pick it. They pick Fremod 4.
Really?
Oh, Xarius time.
Ref's got to confirm.
Yeah,
Lock it in. Final answer.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
When the referee is like, "Are you sure, bro?"
Sparkle Dancer. Man, who's taking mods on this? Hidden should be pretty easy to take, I think. But Hard Rock is strictly going to make this a lot harder, I think. Again,
Xylus or Yip Hard Rock? Or Wondario Hidden, maybe.
Yeah, I think anybody can take the Hidden on. The Hidden might as well just be a preference pick on this for a lot of players. I think the question for the Canadian team here that you have to ask is, normally you're going to be seeing Zudi just take HDHR and stuff. However, I wonder if this pool difficulty has reached like the tipping point where it might just be better to put her on the easier version of the map and just have someone else take the Hard Rock. We'll have to see, because I have no doubts that she's going to be able to do good on this either way.
You're going to hate me for saying this. I don't actually necessarily think not taking Hard Rock is easier on this. I actually think Hard Rock is very accessible for a confident Hard Rock player on this map. Because if you're used to playing Hard Rock, the CS 3.5 is actually going to sort of hurt you with the way that this map is very snappy and awkward. If you throw on Hard Rock, you sort of remove that. You raise the AR.
That is true.
You make the circle smaller, and I do think that it is... I think Hard Rock is just as much of a preference mod on this map as Hidden is, potentially.
Yeah? Well, it is really... well, so am I. Hidden player in the call and Hard Rock player in the call. Hey, guys.
And a Hidden Hard Rock player.
Yep. I think on the Korean side here, who is taking the Hard Rock though? Because I think on this one you would probably want Tune on no mod on this, I would assume.
I would assume so. I mean, Aligrissimo Hard Rock, maybe? Does Parisia play Hard Rock? I doubt it. No, Parisia might.
As a fill, yeah. Which is maybe what they're looking for here. We'll see. What's the verdict?
It is Aligrissimo Hard Rock. Okay, yeah.
Yip Hard Rock.
I saw that coming. I feel like that was sort of like the 50-50 on whether or not Zudi took Hidden Hard Rock and Yip took no mod, or if they sort of split it and no overmodding happening in this lobby whatsoever. And I respect the Hard Rock on Yip. Honestly, he's looked really good in this match so far, really consistent. Aim has been pretty pinpointed down, which is going to be great for
think score-wise, yeah, holding a big combo on this one is pretty up there in difficulty. You know, for how many maps we've seen FC'd or being close to FC'd, I don't think this one's gonna be one of them. I'd be very, very surprised, unless your name is Malashevsky, probably, like, or Emrek, probably. But, you know, we've seen some crazy things already, so I wouldn't count them out. It is worth noting as we wait for these players to get in there. I'm gonna use this opportunity to give a shout out to my own team here, my own pooling team, who's been well, not the pooling team, but the spreads team, if you like the originals. But you know, chances are, you know, statistically, you and I can't play this map. It's way too hard for us. Thankfully, there's a lot of spread difficulties, a lot of lower difficulties for every single original now this year. Some of them are ranked already as well, so check them out.
Go check
A lot of hard
them out,
work
dude.
going towards that.
Playing one of the I was playing one of the qualifiers Hidden 2 earlier today. Absolutely amazing song.
Yeah,
We got tons. It wasn't even an original and it was an amazing song. So what does that tell you about the originals?
all loaded in. So South Korea here, potentially looking at their last map of the tournament. I really wonder what this position for them feels like, because this is a very, you know, historically a very uncommon position to be in, to win last year and then be looking at a top 6 exit here. Like, it hasn't happened too many times. I wonder how that must feel for them here, and if that's going to affect them on this map, because they're going to need to start showing up here for 4 more maps if they want to advance.
Ooh. First miss from Allegrissimo. Slider tick central. This would be huge for Canada on a no mod 4 picked by South Korea. It's 1 miss. Here's the sliders we were talking about. Combos not guaranteed anywhere here. And if there was ever a map to watch out for Bancho misses on, it's this one. And how have 7 players held combos through that intro?
Wow.
Oh, Karcher! Okay, well, Canada's 4-way FCing a third of the way through a map that we just aptly named as one of the hardest in the entire pool. Allegrissimo with a very unfortunate early break here, and it's going to come down to these later misses. It's a double from Xylus and Wanderio, and that is just how fast this map can turn around. Oh no, the slight aim control parts there catching a lot of people. Zudi going actually dropping the last FC here. And Korea's still got... Well, they had 2. Now it's the one and only. I would
much needed score lead here going into this 100k and building up. Tuna, it's your turn.
I would pay to see a Tuna FC on this map, like live right now.
Well,
just
you might not have to.
I might not have to. I might just be bestowed upon this right now. Or he misses on literally Jack. Or he misses on literally Jack. What in the...
No,
literally, I should have paid. I should have, you know, I tried to, I was cheap.
Maybe you should have.
I was cheap and broke. I'm a brokey and I didn't pay for it. My gosh.
The score lead is not that big.
This is a lot of combo for Canada.
I'm starting to worry a little bit
Xylus
here. The Canadian team's almost basically fully recovered.
Oh, that Xylus miss was so at a rough time, though. No, that might be the...
Oh, that's really, really scary. It's still a 100k lead, and this part of the end is really, really difficult here.
It's...
Some of the slider aim here is really ridiculous. Wanderio are going to be dropping the combo here. It's just Zudi and Nujabes trying to find it back. 100k against Allegrissimo, and 2 solid supporting combos from Tuna and Karcher. Here we go.
Allegrissimo would need to be the one to find a miss for South Korea, and it's just not happening. Karcher with a beautiful support. Flying Tuna with the support as well. There goes Zudinator, and it looks like South Korea is going to hold this one down. Oh, Alegrissimo, go off King. 1K combo into the hardest section of the ending. Flying Tuna making it look easy too. A Mamia Kokoro 400 combo, and it's the slider stream at the ending with 3 combos standing for South Korea.
My God.
They get 160K in the last 15 seconds of that map, and that is 0 freaking misses for Flying Tuna. Okay, I'm done here.
It's Alegrissimo comboing the entire hardest part of the map at the end, too.
Wow.
Oh. South Korea's logged in.
They're back. They're back, baby. We said Nomad 4 would be a good pick for them before they picked Nomad 3. And it was. It was a good pick, and that is really understating it. I mean, that was a double 500K if you round up for a Mamia Kokoro. Alegrissimo 450K. Those 3 players best the #1 score on Canada.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hi, Karcher. Hello. Time to play.
Good morning. Like, I can just imagine Karcher's eyes, like, lighting up at hearing that this map was picked in a match and just being ready to go in on this.
Oh, look at this beautiful intro, though. Glorious.
So, it's so pretty before the chaos that ensues with the map afterwards. Now, the question is, does Karcher play Hard Rock on this? Because I would normally say yes. I would normally say yes, he would on a stream map. But that's in solo, and this is a world stage with basically this map standing in between South Korea and Tiebreaker. I mean, this is, you know, we expect South Korea to win their gimmick pick.
I don't think Karcher's putting on the Hard Rock for this.
I wonder who
despite
takes
it
it
in being in free mod, I think when we've been putting these flow aim stream picks in these free mod slots where one has to take Hard Rock, it's absolutely a tank. Like, this is just strictly harder on Hard Rock, right? So if you're looking at probably your best player on this, gonna want him on the Nomad, I think, for this, and probably looking at someone else to be taking that. Probably Chipori on the Hard Rock, I think, perhaps. But on the side of Canada as well, I don't know who's really taking the Hard Rock on this. It might be Zudi, but I mean, I think you're looking at Yip Wanderi Nomad, considering they both have just Nomaded this like 2 days ago for their top play, as I said earlier. So
wow. Well, this is like Tiebreaker warm-up at 5 minutes of consistency.
It's also one of those maps that is going to be very inconsistent, I think, for players. Like, I wouldn't really call it RNG, but your score variance on this is going to matter a lot here. So this is going to be a little bit of a gambly pick. But we'll see.
We thought this would be the least gamble when we talked about their picks earlier. The question is, do you think Karcher, like, cursed this map? Do you think he put, like, a hex on this map in case this ever got picked against him in a tournament, and now anyone who has to play this against him just loses instantly?
Like a secret code in there?
Like in the metadata, there's just like a deep unknown curse that is just going to, like, make Yip's computer shut down or something.
I don't think Karcher needs it.
No, he doesn't need it, but a failsafe is always good against a mechanics team.
Yeah.
Well,
however, I think being in a position like this, again, also probably unprecedented here. Karcher being on elimination point on a map that not only they've mapped themselves, but also of their skill set that a lot of people know them by. They've had so many crazy tournament moments playing maps like this. So that's gotta affect him. That's gotta affect him. I hope he's not too nervous.
I hope so too. I am really looking forward to this one going the distance right now, and well, it's flow aim. Canada has been good on mechanics, but we really haven't seen this sort of flow aim in a map yet. And it's Silas to find the first break with Hard Rock, which is not too concerning, considering that is definitely the hardest mod combination on this map. It's an earlier miss than Canada would have liked, but Suyong trades it out, and that's going to keep things right at the status quo here, as these next sets of streams are really just an intro for what is to come in the PI.
Worth noting, I mean, South Korea are putting in Suyong and My Keyboard for this. They don't have that many of their higher profile names that have gotten them here. You know, there's no... Mamiya's not playing this. Alegrissimo's not playing this. so a lot on their shoulders, I think, to keep up here. Although I think this Hard Rock is kind of just strictly a tank, no matter who's playing it. You know, respectfully, don't think I'm expecting much out of the two Hard Rock players on this one. However,
decent.
you never know.
Good accuracy otherwise, yeah, and I think the swaps for this map, you know, on the Amamiya Kokoro side, we've seen a lot of nerves and shaking on maps with combo so far, and I wonder if maybe they're just trying to mitigate that for their next pick, or Allegrissimo and Amamiya could just be practicing whatever map South Korea plans on picking after this, should they steal the break point away. So, a lot of opportunity. And as we crest the 1,000 combo mark, not quite at the halfway point yet, this is going to be the first set of space streams that we see here. When the vocals go high, it's Karcher and Sooyoung to find breaks. They need to see some on Canada, and unfortunately, it's a third one on South Korea. Yep, to find the only break for Canada here, and Zudinator holding the FC is the big point of nerves here. She's looked good in this match so far. Wanderio to find a break. And it's Xylus and Zudi, those top two players from Canada from last week. Big space stream here. Xylus hits it with Hard Rock.
Xylus is doing this on Hard Rock?
And Tuna missed. Okay, it is Xylus time. Halfway through the map, that's probably one of the hardest streams in the map besides this section right here, which is really more just about maintaining the consistency through the flow aim. And Xylus hits it, and now there is probably 300 free combo here unless he misses on the stupid slider.
Might have been looking at the wrong guy. This whole time we're talking about Karcher having to do the colossal lock-in on this one, but I mean, what are you doing, Xylus?
The big jumps, he hits it too, and he misses.
Oh, the under aim.
Okay, yeah, that's a tough.
I mean, the work is done. The work is done for the mod that's supposed to be tanked on this. Definitely play the harder version of the map. My guy has the highest score in the lobby right now. It's looking good for Canada as they get into this ending with 250k score lead. And there's not much combo to be matching that here. It might be it.
There's nothing. Zudinator does find a miss on that stream there, but I mean, it was my keyboard matching her, and that's the highest combo on South Korea. You know, South Korea needed somebody at 700-800 combo at this point to have a chance to come back into this, and with that chain miss from my keyboard and Karcher there, it's 300k. Wanderio trades a little bit of it out, but Azer, I think this might be it. It's done. It's dusted. It's 6-4 Canada, and with a 300,000 score gap, it's looking to be 7-4 as the number 4 seed is poised to win this match.
I think it's very hard to discount South Korea here. I mean, if you look at pick'ems on this, I think South Korea had 76% prediction rate on this to win this one, but I mean, Canada quite underrated this year, I will say. You know, I think they're probably the definitive 4th team in the tournament. You know, it's a tough argument to make, you know, whether or not they're going to be stronger than what people are perceiving as the top 3, but still going to be eliminating South Korea, the previous year's OWC winners, in finals, and moving on themselves to a top 4 finish as Arcadia closes, and that's it.
The spinner ends it. 2 million team score just over for Canada. And that was a lead that they got early and maintained for the entire match. South Korea, all it took was the one break point off. They did so well to win their gimmick maps. They put up such a valiant effort. They looked amazing in semifinals, and some of their players with some crazy scores in a very, very difficult finals pool. The hardest finals pool that the US World Cup has ever seen. And they come up just barely short, our 6th seed, going out in the first round of the finals weekend in the lower bracket. That is going to put them at a definitive placement of top 6. So still within their seed range. But Canada, our 4th seed, does advance to top 4, where they belong based on seeding.
Yeah, and they've got potentially a very hard match ahead here. It's not decided quite yet, but I mean, the next thing on stream, I guess gonna be today for most people, I think in 5 hours or so. Australia versus Germany on the other side of the losers bracket. And that one is a big one as well. Canada did previously beat Germany early this tournament, 6-3. So probably not who they're worried about, but I mean, Australia, I think, are being touted as a definitive top 3 for the entire tournament here, right? So very scary opponent ahead for both Germany and potentially Canada as well afterwards. But that's going to be a good one. I mean, Kriller has been looking really good as always, but I think Germany hasn't quite yet had a good chance to show the other players on the team. So I think they're going to be looking perhaps to show that it's not just Kriller and friends, and there's perhaps some more juice there. But when you're against Emrek and a Super Box, that's going to be pretty hard, I think, Chiller.
That it will be, and it's not on the schedule here, but the loss for South Korea here does eliminate the 10 and 12 UTC potentials on Sunday. So final matchup for the weekend here, of course, Australia versus Germany at 11 UTC today. And the potential winner of that, Australia versus Canada, will be at 1 UTC Sunday. Germany versus Canada will take place at 16 UTC Sunday. And then, of course, we've got a very exciting set of matches set up as well. Poland versus the United States, and the first show match this weekend on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting show match. The time is not confirmed yet because it depends on a potential match, but it should be fun. A lot of your favorite players are going to be on there. Honestly, that day tomorrow is going to be pretty stacked. I think that show match is really interesting. Into Poland, USA, which is crazy as well. And then Grand Finals showcase later. I've been hard at work with some absolute cinema for everyone, so looking forward to that one personally. But I think that's going to be it for now. Next thing on stream here, Australia, Germany, 11 UTC. We'll see you all there.